Greetings! Welcome to Razor Tree Productions, and welcome to this week's Battle Report. This battle report is Lumineth Realm Lords versus Maggotkin of Nurgle. For more details on the army lists, army tactics, battle plan details, and battle plan tactics, see our episode of War Center associated with this battle report. You can click the link in the description, in the comments below, or in the card that will pop up. For now, let's get to round one. So, disclaimer here, the dice camera from this point on in the battle report was corrupted, so no video. But Brian and I talked about it, both want to keep it, so you'll have all the audio, you'll hear the dice rolling, you'll hear us say the results, but you don't get to see it. But here you go. Just thought I should let you know. Enjoy the rest of the battle report. Also stick around for a Brian rant at the end.
All right, rolling to see where we are on the Wheel of Nurgle. Looks like we're on a 2. Second Vigor. Add 1 to the wound rolls of all attacks made by Nurgle units in the combat phase. All right, we're going to try and use Savage Bolt on your Stone Mage.
Okay.
Casting value of 7. Got it.
Got it with a 7. Now I'm going to try to unbind it with my Stone Mage, just on principle. He's +1 to unbind because of being near tech list, +1 for being on Arcane. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I did stop that one.
All right, and that is all of my casting. Harbinger of Decay goes ahead and uses his command ability to give 5 up saves for mortals.
All right, and put you down to 1 command point.
1 command point.
All right, movement phase.
All right, we're going to start off with 20 shots into the Stone Mage. And we're going to be hitting on a 5 because of the -1 to hit.
Yeah, -1 from Lookout, sir. This is the Ungor Raiders, by the way.
Ungor Raiders. So, and 6s cause a mortal wound. Okay. A couple of misses here, but we're going to go ahead and re-roll these 1s and 2s. That's a 3. These 1s and 2s. Yes, we picked up 3 more mortal wounds.
6 mortal wounds so far?
6 mortal wounds so far. In this phase, it's supposed to be a 3 to wound, but since we're in second vigor, I add 1 to wound. So, adding 1 to wound, these will wound on a 3.
All right, 5 up save. And with Mountain's Gift, I ignore on 6s. He's super dead.
Yay. Next up, we're going into your archers.
You'll be -1 to hit because of Shining Company.
That means I'm going to have a 5 to hit, and 6s are a mortal wound. A lot of misses in that. A lot of misses. All right, here we go. Ooh, but we picked up 4 mortal wounds so far. And then I'm rolling these to hit. To wound is a 3 up because of the phase we're in. And so 3 mortal wounds and 3 hits.
All right, on 5 ups. So 3 mortal wounds and 2 fails, so it's 5 down. There's what's remaining. Any charging?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to be trying to charge with our 2 different units there. See what we can get in. Alright, first charge is going to be this forwardmost unit. And whatever it is, it's +1.
So 13. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that.
Let's start a combat phase. Do you have any abilities you want to pop?
No, nothing that's going to be popped.
Alright, I am going to pop my Aether Quartz Reserve on my Wardens to give them +1 to save. And then I will go ahead and absorb that with my Cathalar. and see if that gets thrown over to your people instead. And then that unit of Blight Kings that are fighting me are now -1 bravery for the rest of the battle. What I do once per game in combat, I can pick a unit with my wardens, shine their Moonfire Flask, and on a 2-up, you take D3 mortal wounds. And it doesn't happen.
Nice. All right, exploding 6s. Come on, 6s.
You're -1 to hit because of Shining Company.
I gotcha. So then it's a 4 to hit and exploding 6. Not great, but it's a 2-up for 2 wound.
All right, so since I'm +1 to save from Ether Quartz Reserve, this is a 3-up save. And I take 2. My wardens are going to swing back. I will start with my champion's blade. You know, I'm glad you saved because he actually didn't have the range to get there anyway. It's only 1-inch range and he's in the back row. So, well, that was fun. Now the warden's pikes.
But you could imagine. It's
yeah. It would have been cool. Now my warden's pikes. I have 7 with pikes. Be 2 attacks each, hitting on 3s. Now, wounding on 3s because you charged me. And now it will be at -1 rend because you charged me.
So 5-up save?
Yeah.
I'll just use you guys. 5-up. And so that means 5 wounds, but he's close enough to the general for the 5-up save.
4 wounds.
4 wounds.
So I forgot that my Sun Metal weapons do 3 mortal wounds on top of their normal, but I rolled them anyway and they got hits, so it kind of evened out, so we're just going to leave it even as is, because he still could have tried to ignore, so we'll just call it good. I'm going to end combat phase here. I'm not going to pile in with the Dawn Riders. I can only get 1 in anyway since they're in a Shining Company. We'll see what happens. Now we shall go to Battle Shock phase. So we're going to have I have a test with the Wardens. And I have a test with the Sentinels.
Bad test with the Sentinels because it's -6 bravery.
All right, at the start of the Battle Shock phase, I'm going to go ahead and try Emotional Transference. On a 2-up, I can do some janky Battle Shock stuff. Okay, I got it. I'm going to say my Sentinels do not have to take a Battle Shock test. And instead, I pick an enemy unit within 18 inches that has to take a Battle Shock test, which will be those Blight Kings that were in combat. And I add the number of models from my friendly unit that were slain during the turn to that Battle Shock roll. So basically, he'll be taking a Battle Shock test at his model plus 5 of mine. But then I will need to still take a Battle Shock test for my Wardens. Roll to 3 plus 2. That is a 5, but am I any negatives on my Wardens for bravery?
-6.
All right, so that puts me at 2 bravery. Was normally at 6. So 2, roll to 3, plus 2 models, so that puts me at a 5. So I'm 1 over my bravery. That means I lose another Warden. Now your Blight Kings have a Battle Shock test, and they'll be... they lost 1 model, plus the 5 I lost that you have to add. So 6 plus your roll.
2.
So 8 is your total. What's your bravery?
8.
And that's with the -1 permanently from the Cathalar?
No. But they it's -1 brings them down to 7. They get +1 for their unit dude. The Toscan.
So they break even, and overall we lost 2 Wardens in that Battle Shock phase. And at the end of Brian's turn, he got 2 points. 1 for this objective, and 1 for this objective. Right, start of the hero phase, Lumineth turn 1. All of my Alarith units are going to be enduring as rock, so Rend 1 weapons count as Rend nothing. Then I'm going to declare that Teclis is going to cast 4 spells, so these will all be on 10s. We're going to attempt to cast Speed of Hish from my Dawn Riders onto Eltharion. They are +1 to cast for the arcane terrain, another +1 for Teclis being nearby. 3, 4, 5, 6, and Speed of Hish is a 5.
I'll attempt to unbind.
Yes, no speed of Hish. My wardens are going to attempt to cast Power of Hish. They will be +1 because of tech list. They're too far away from the arcane terrain. 7, so that will go off. That means they mortal wound on 5s instead of 6s.
I'm going to try and unbind that with the, what's his name? The ugly guy? Breed unclean one?
4, so that does go off. Power of Hish on the wardens. This is something I can cast more than once. And I'll do it again on the sentinels. They'll try to cast it on themselves. They're +2, so that's a 12. I'm going to probably cast Darkness of the Soul on the Blight Kings that are not in combat. She will be +2 as well. 1 for arcane, 1 for techless. This is a casting value of 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So barely. And this one is, do you have anybody who would like to try to unbind that? It's what it does is until your next hero phase, roll a 2d6 each time you make a normal move, charge move, shoots, or fights. If the roll is greater than their bravery, they can't perform that action. All right, Techless is going to cast Protection of Techless. That's everybody wholly within 18 inches can ignore wounds and mortal wounds on a 5-up. Cast on a 10. You want to try to unbind that one. Next, I will do Total Eclipse. That's where you have to spend 2 command points instead of 1.
That's the one.
All right, on a 10.
7.
All right, so Total Eclipse does go off. Board wide, -2 bravery. Voice of the Mountains. And then his last spell is going to be... You have no unbinds?
Huh? No more unbinds.
Okay, so this will go... I'll do Storm of Searing White Light. Cast on a 10. Roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster invisible. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2 to 4, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 5, they suffer d6. Okay, so we're going to start with the Harbinger of Decay. Let's see. I got a 1, so nothing happens. Now we'll do the Mind Stealer. Got a 3, so he will be taking d3 mortal wounds for 2. And then the Blight Kings in combat will be taking d3 mortal wounds for a possible of 1. You ignore on a 5.
Yeah.
And then finally the Blight Kings out of combat. And a 6, they will be taking d6 mortal wounds for 2, possibly. They ignore on 5s as well from the Harbinger. So just 1. Then at the end of my hero phase, a Valinor will use Elder Wisdom on himself. So if he's within 6 inches of himself at the start of the next hero phase, he can use a command ability in that turn without spending command points. Techless is going to fire his Lunar Staff into the Blight Kings that are out of combat. That is 1 attack, hitting on 2. It does hit. Wounding on 2. Goes way everywhere. It does wound. That is -3 rend.
Okay, it hits.
And that does d6 wounds. For 2, possibly. You ignore on 5. So nothing.
Nada.
A Valinor will fire into your backline unit, the one nearest your territory, of Bestigors. And that will be 1 attack, hitting on 3. Wounding on 2. That is -2 rend.
It hits.
That'll be d6 for 1. 1 damage. Now my Sentinels will be doing your furthest reaching Bestigor unit. So these are hitting on 4s. 5s and 6s are mortal wounds. So it's 2 mortal wounds. And wounding on 4s, which does wound. So you have 1 save at no rend. And he's good to go. Shooting phase, Light of Altharion, Searing Darts of Light. You'll pick a unit within 18 inches which is the Blight Kings that are out of combat. And roll a d6. On a 1, nothing happens. 2 to 4, d3 mortal wounds. On a 5 up, d6. So we'll be doing d6 mortal wounds to the Blight Kings out of combat.
Again?
For 4. So 3. So Valinor is going to attempt to charge. Alright, going to attempt to charge with a Valinor. He needs a 7. 6. Ooh, I don't think I have any bonuses to charge either. I'm going to spend my only command point. 8. Alright, a Valinor is in. Now my Stone Guard are going to attempt to charge. They need a 6. And I got a 5, so they're stuck in place. Now Light of Eltharion will attempt to charge. He got a 5, so he'll be able to get in there. Start a combat phase. I'm going to spend an Ether Quartz reserve on my Valinor. So he's going to be -1 bravery permanently, and then he gets +1 to hit for this combat phase. Alright, and during combat when I select lightning reactions, when it's my turn to fight, I pick 2 eligible units instead of 1. Now I do have to pick them before I fight with either of them, so I can't like pick one, then it goes well, and pick a different one. I am going to pick a Valinor and Eltharion. I'll go with a Valinor first. He has 6 attacks with his Fire Stealer hammers. These will be hitting on 2s now. Ugh, 3 ones. And then wounding on 3s, I believe. So that is 1 at minus...
It goes through.
-1
if
rend?
there's any rend at all, it goes through.
Okay, that is 5 damage. And then he has a Cloven Hoof attack, 2 attacks, hitting on 2s. So I get 1. Wounding on 3. It does wound, has a rend, and does 2 damage. So that's 7 total. Alright, now Eltharion will go into the Blight Kings. His Fang Sword of Eltharion is 4 attacks, hitting on 2s, and wounding on 3s. Okay, hold on. I do add 1 if I made a charge roll. Fang Sword of Eltharion. Add 1 to wound rolls if I made a charge move in the same turn. In addition, if the unmodified wound roll is 6, it does a mortal wound in addition. So I've done 1 mortal wound, and then you have 3 saves at -3 rend.
I go through.
So 1 so far, and then these do D3 apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. And then we'll just add them up at the end. I have 2 attacks with my Solnari blade. I hit on 2s. Wound on 3s. So 2 at -1 rend.
So 2 at -1 rend. That's a 5.
And that is 1 for D3 for 2, so 8 total
8.
to ignore.
So 6 of them go through.
6 damage.
Blight King's going back into the hero. And +1 to wound means these 2s all went, so yeah. There's 7 hits.
I'll just roll yours. 3 up saves. I'll take 2. Oh, yeah,
so you
yeah.
get to ignore.
That is true on a 5 up. Alright, so he's
So
good.
nothing.
My champion's still out of range, so no champion's blade attacks. But I do have 12 Warden's Pikes, hitting on 3s. Then mortal wounds on 6s. And I can't remember, did you unbind Power of Hish?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so just 3 mortal wounds so far. Wounding on 4s. Alright, so just 3 mortal wounds to ignore. I'll take 2 instead. That's it for them.
It's going to be a 6 to hit, but 6 will also do a mortal wound.
So basically 6s do something, and then
Everything
we're
else
done?
does nothing. Nice. Alright, here we go. 6s do something. Otherwise you're dead to me. So, that did something. It did 4 damage.
4 wounds so far, you can't ignore it.
And now it's a 4 up. So 1 more damage.
Alright, he has a 3 up save. And he saves it.
I'll just pick the unit of 5 Bestigors. They have -2 bravery, so they have 4 bravery.
2 plus how many models did you?
4.
So you lose 2 more.
Pulled off.
Mm-hmm.
The other one has got 1 off of it.
3,
2.
so you're fine on that unit.
And then I lost 2 on the Blight Kings. Blight Kings have a bravery of 8, so 6. So -2.
2 plus 2, 4. You should be fine. So you're fine there too. And the Ungors?
They lost 7.
7. So you're still at 30 plus.
Yeah.
So you're +3 -2. So you're at +1 bravery. Plus whatever banners do or
They have
anything.
a bravery of 4.
So 5. 6. So you lose 1. Here's how we're looking with the Bestigors. And Ungors and Blight Kings. And then I score 1 point. So it is 2-1. Nurgle. And then we have the roll off. Are you win first, you win ties. You win. You want to take it?
I'm going to take it.
So we have Maggotkin of Nurgle, turn 2.
Roll a dice for each unit within 1 inch of a terrain feature at the start of your hero phase. On a roll of 5 or more, the unit suffers a mortal wound. If it's a Nurgle, they get healed a wound. Dawn Riders. 5 up.
Yes.
Mortal wound. Yep.
They're doing a 5-up, protection of Teclis. They take it.
Cathalar. Nope.
Now we have my Stone Guards.
Stone Guard. Yep.
And they ignore from protection of Teclis as well. And don't.
I'm going to go ahead and start off with casting. I'll do Blades of Putrefaction with my Sorcerer. Casting value of 7, but it's near the terrain, so it would be a 6. On the Ungor Raiders.
4, 5, 6, 7. It is a 7 to cast. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it. So I'm going to have to auto-unbind that one.
Savage Bolt. Casting value of 7 on your guy. You got it.
Oof. Cathalar actually is +2. It's unbinding, so I think I'm going to do it with Cathalar. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, it happens.
Okay, he takes D3 damage. 1.
So he's taking 5.
Yep. And everyone who is attacking him gets +1 to hit.
So now they hit normally.
Plague Wind. Casting value of 7. He's going to cast that on your... he'll cast it on the big guy. Okay, we're going to try and hurt him. Hey, got it.
Ugh, well, Teclis will try. Yeah, it happens.
Okay, that's D3 mortal wounds.
This is on a Valinor?
Yeah, on Valinor.
All right, he's taking 7.
Glorious Afflictions. He's casting the Glorious Afflictions on your Hammer Elves. So that's a casting value of 5.
Well, Teclis will try again. I do stop that one.
Also, I have 2 command points. I'm going to use that to do the disgusting resilience thing for my mortals. So I get to pick a unit within 12 inches of me. I've secretly chosen a dice to dominate the mind of whatever that stupid hero is. And if our dice are different, then he dominates his mind. If they're the same, no effect.
No effect. All right, and this is on Lightable Therion. Here's my dice.
I wish I had better news for you.
No.
It's a 3!
And this is what he picked. A 3. So Eltharion is fighting at the end of the combat phase this battle round. First I'll start around. I'm enduring his rock, because if I don't say it, I'm not. There's the end of that movement phase. Now shooting, we've got Ungor Raiders.
Alright, so we've got the Ungor Raiders shooting at the big old mountain dude.
-1 from my aura, but you're +1 from Gashrak spell, so you're hit.
Yeah, so I'm 4 up. 4 up. 4 up. Re-rolling 1s and 2s. Re-rolling the 1s and 2s. 4 up.
3 up save. Take 5. I need to check my health. Valinor has 2 wounds left. Thanks to Ungor Raiders. OP. Sticks. Sharpened. Shot.
Wish they just nerfed those Ungor Raiders.
I know, it's a piece of chaos. Just too powerful.
It's not even fun to play against. They need a 3-inch to charge.
Yep, so charging with the Plague Bears. We are in the charge phase. And he rolled an 8. I know that's off camera. But And here is how he has ended his charge with his plague bearers. Very interesting. Tying in my stone guard, I see. Who would you like to charge next?
We're going to attempt to charge with this 10-man unit here, or this 9-man unit here. Got a 7.
They get bonuses to charge or no?
Yeah, they get an extra.
Again, more weird charging. But I think this is how you have to play these guys, is really be interesting with your choices. It's working out.
We'll find out.
Well, Eltherion's locked out till the end of combat, so that's a good start.
Alright. So
Who would you like to go next?
Next we're going to charge with these 4.
Alright, now because of that spell, despair spell from the Cathalar, you need to roll 2d6, and if it beats their bravery, then you can't.
So that's a 6.
So they cannot make that move. They cannot make the charge.
They can't make a charge?
No.
Ooh, not quite.
Yeah. But you're close enough to declare because you're within 12 of a unit, because Eltherion's close enough for you to be eligible to charge. Might as well roll it and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, see, now we don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Alright, that's charging.
Alright, on to combat. For my start of combat, my Dawn Riders are going to spend Ether Quartz Reserve to get my +1 to save. But instead of losing -1 bravery, my Cathalar is going to absorb it and throw it onto the Bestigors. So now they're -1 bravery for the rest of the game.
Not dead yet. This is a 5-up, 5-up attack. This is not... If they do 2 damage, I would be shocked.
If they do 2 damage, he's dead.
I would be shocked if they are able to pull that
I'm
off.
telling you, this is where it's going to happen. It's going to be freaking hilarious.
Alright.
And now you're about to kill my freaking mountain cow.
5 up. That's 1 hit.
Well, the Ungor Raiders aren't going to kill me, so I can save some face. It will just be a Plague Bearer, which is almost as bad. Okay. Ha! And I take it, I'm at 1.
Alright.
Ungor Raiders! I can't believe this. I have 1 Loon left on a Valinor. It's good stuff. So with my Lightning Reflexes, or Strike Quickly, whatever it's called, I need to pick 2 units now before I start fighting, and they'll both go into combat. I'm going to choose a Valinor. Damn it. And I'm going to choose my Dawn Riders. Now, my Deathly Furrows, they're going to get extra attacks against that unit. I can't remember how many it is, but they're a 1 wound, 10 model unit, so they get extra attacks. With my Deathly Furrows, I'm going to be adding 2 attacks. My Guardian Sword now hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s. It's 1 at -1 rend.
Okay, that's a 5-up save.
So 1 damage so far. And now I have 2 lances hitting on 3s and wounding on 4s. It's 2, no rend.
No rend. 4-up save.
All good. So just that Valinor going into the Ungor Raiders with his 6 hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, -1 rend, and now with my bracketing, 1 damage instead of 5. So hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, 2 at -1 rend.
They can't block that.
Okay, so that's 2 damage so far. And then now it's Cloven Hooves, 2 attacks hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. That's 1 at -1 rend,
Can't block it.
and that's 2 more damage. And that's everything.
So that's 4 damage.
4 guys down. Good job, Valinor. Here's what we look like after combat with Dawn Riders. And over here's what we look like after combat with a Valinor.
Light Kings into the Stabber dudes.
Wardens.
That's their official name. 3 up. 3.
No rend.
No rend.
Be 4 up saves. I fail 1 and ignore on a 5 up from Protection of Teclis. I ignore. They are safe. Okay. Because of 3-inch reach, it is ridiculous apparently. I have 5 in range of the Bestigors on my Warden. Then I have 1 in range of the Plague Bear or Blight King, and my leader. Here's a note for you folks at home: put your champion in the front line, not the back line, because he has a 1-inch range. It can't reach a damn thing. So I'll do the 1 Warden Pike into the Blight King first. That is 2 attacks. Since they didn't charge me, he'll be hitting on 3s. That is 1 mortal wound, wounding on 4s. So that is 1 at no rend.
4-up save.
And failed. So you need to ignore twice because you had enough command points. 2 damage onto the Blight King. Then I have 5, so that'll be 10 attacks. This is onto the Bestigors, hitting on 3s. That is 1 mortal wound. Target unit made a charge move in the same turn. Add 1 to wound rolls for attacks made with the unit's Warden Pikes and improve the rend by 1. Wounding on 3s. 5 at -1 rend.
5 up.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
So 1 mortal wound.
3 attacks each for the 5, and it's going to be a 4 up, re-rolling 1s. And re-roll these 2 ones.
This is all into Eltharion.
So those all hit, and now it is a 3 up. -1 rend.
I will roll these, but he ignores rend. So 3s. He will take 2, and then protection of Techless on a 5 up. So he takes none. Now the one of the Dawn Rider.
This will be 5 up because of the -1 to hit. Alright, and then 3 up.
Any -1 rend? Pretty sure that makes us a 5 up. Either way, yeah. Alright, so I take 2. That's going to be 1 dead horse and 1 wound on another. Alright, there are my Dawn Riders. And now, I will go with my Stone Guard. Let's get that pile in.
Free.
Right. My Stone Guard into the Plague Bearers. Okay, so I have 3 in range. So that's going to be 6 attacks. Hitting on 3. I probably should have done something with their Ether Quartz. No, I did. I did on my Dawn Riders. You know, I forgot to count that. But you know what? I'm going to eat that because I forgot to do it. Whatever. Hitting on 3s. That's 6. Might be 2 damage if it goes through.
Fuck!
Let's do these first. Wounding on 3s. So that's 1 at -1 rend 1 damage. And that's it.
Okay, so it's -1 rend.
Yes.
It's a 6 up save. No!
No. Now, are they discussing the resilient?
They are!
By themselves, right? They don't
By
need to hear
themselves.
it,
I
yeah.
don't need anything else. 5 up.
Okay, so you lose a guy. Yes.
Son.
Battleshock tests.
Curses. If I roll a 1, I might get D6 back.
Oh, yeah, you can get more back than you had.
Yep.
Oh, that's actually bad for me.
I'm surprised you attacked them. This is a really bad attack profile. You're probably...
Here it is. But it's 5 up, 7 attacks. You only need 1 to go through.
That's true. I only need 1.
7 plague bears. Well, 7 attacks. 6 plague bears.
7 attacks. We need a 4 up.
Because you're -1 from me, +1 from you.
Yep.
I'm so nervous. Roll the dice for it. Ugh, it's too many.
3 attacks.
Don't you Bob Ross me right now. I will lose my temper even though it's Bob Ross. I can't.
3 wound. 3 to wound.
No, not all 3. Oh, God.
All you have to do is save 3 attacks.
With a 3 up save. No!
Yes!
Oh, he's dead.
Get him off the table. Clean up.
No. Valinor, I barely knew ye. Thee, whatever it is.
But I was supposed to be a champion.
I do lots of damage normally.
Tell that to the Ungors.
Oh, God, they've done so much more damage than him. Oh. Is there anything else for you?
At this point, no.
All right, we're at the end of the combat phase. Eltharion's finally able to go. Yay, stupid Mind Stealer. All right, I'm going to hit the Bestigors. Yep, the Bestigors.
They were the best of goes.
All right, Light of Eltharion. Better late than never, I guess, into the Bestigors. Fang Sword of Eltharion. 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. The 6 explodes into 2 attacks, and the 6 also inflicts 1 mortal wound in addition to normal damage. So you're at 1 mortal wound so far.
Okay.
And wounding on 3s. That's 3, excuse me, at -3 rend. Guessing that goes through. D3 apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the Selnari Blade hits on 2s, wounds on 3s. The 2 at -1 rend.
Okay, and these are a -1 rend, so that'd be a 5 up save. Nope.
All right, so that'll be D3 apiece as well. For 5. Okay, so that wipes the unit. This is to see if the unit blew up on somebody.
It did.
It does. Who's it blowing up on?
If a unit from this battalion is destroyed, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 7 inches, and on a 2 up, that enemy unit suffers a mortal wound.
Within 7 inches, so I guess pick which one that is, but you also would have been within Techless.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of stuff to do here.
Okay, so we'll say that first one was him, because that's kind of what I was thinking. Second one will be this unit.
Yes.
Then these guys.
Yes. It was a 3.
And techless.
Yes. Is a mortal wound on all of them?
Yep.
All right. So, protection of techless, Light of Eltharion. Does take the mortal wound. He's down to 6. Fenari, Alara, the Wardens are safe. The Dawn Riders are safe. And techless takes a wound. So, Eltharion's down 1 and techless is down 1. You know what? I'm going to have to go back because I actually have 2 points because I had a leader within, and you have an extra point because you had a leader within.
Oh, yeah.
So an extra point from your first turn, and now an extra point for this turn.
So I have 7 points.
Yes, and I actually have... no, I only have 2 because I've only had 1 turn so far.
Yep.
1 for the 1 objective, 1 for having a leader.
There you go.
So 7 to 2. Okay.
So
I'll correct that with text in the edit, and otherwise you'll hear it now. If you're just listening. Now it is Lumineth. Turn 2. Alright, for my hero phase, I'm going to cast Power of Hysh on my Wardens with themselves since they're still a wizard. They're +1 because of techless. Casting value of 6. And it is a fail. The Sentinels will be doing the same buffs. And that is a 8. Would you like to try to unbind?
which one is that?
And it does. And who unbound that?
The Gashrak.
Geshrak, okay. And now the Cathalar is going to cast Darkness of the Soul. She's +1 for Arcane Terrain, +1 for techless. Darkness of the Soul is a casting value of 7. This is a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So an 11. Pick an unit with an 18, the caster invisible till your next hero phase.
Invisible?
And invisible. Oh yeah, and visible. So she can't
So she
see.
couldn't do it before.
Yeah, she couldn't have done that before. I can see though. Well, I can't see shit. Well, I guess she's just gonna go, whoops. I should have looked. So nothing. I'm just gonna say it's a failed cast. And not even gonna cast a new one because of the fact that it happened last turn. And if you made a comment, thanks for calling me out. If not, you should have paid attention. God!
You'd know this if you subscribed, hit like, and left a comment.
What he said. Now, techless with his 4 spells, he'll do Voice of the Mountains. So board wide -2 bravery at a 10.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and unbind it.
Okay.
It's 10?
10.
Yeah. No.
All right. Then I will do Total Eclipse. That's it costs you 2 command points instead of 1 when you spend.
I'm gonna try and unbind it again with the Great and Clean one.
I will do Protection Techless again on a 10. And then finally I'll do Storm of Searing White Light. Roll a d6 for every enemy unit within 18 inches of Techless. And on a 1, nothing happens. 2 to 4 d3 mortal wounds. And a 5 up d6 mortal wounds. And here is the destruction after the Kamehamehas. Rasengans. Hadoukens. All those things. And here's the completion of my movement phase. Retreated with Eltharion on my Wardens. Everything else stayed in combat, everything else moved up. Now for shooting. Alright, we're going to start with Techless's Lunar Staff into the Youngor Raiders. It's 1 attack hitting on 2. Wounding on 2. That is -3 rend. So I'm guessing that goes through. For d6, it'll be 5 damage.
To who?
No, the Youngor Raiders. So these will be aimed attacks. So they'll be hitting on 3s.
At Ungors?
Yes. And the 6 does a mortal wound. Wounding on 4s. That's 2 at -1 rend.
Okay, there you have a 6 save, so.
Okay, so that's 3 total. 1 mortal wound and 2 regular. I shall go to Light of Eltharion's shooting phase ability. It's not a shot, but it is an ability in the shooting phase. Searing Darts of Light. He will pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches, which will be the Blight Kings in between him and the Wardens. And he'll roll a dice, and things might happen. Let's see, not a 1, it's a 1, so nothing happens. Dawn Riders are going to try to charge here. They get a 7, or 6, I mean, which is still good enough. They're going to do it. And then we'll see how they fight. There's how they conclude their charge. And with my Allegiance ability, we're going to do start a combat phase. I'm going to spend a command point to let them reroll 1s to hit. And I don't think I have anything else I can do at the start. Oh, Deathly Furrows. So they're all going to be +2 to all their melee weapons since they're attacking a unit with 1 wound characteristic and no mount. I will spin an Ether Quartz reserve on my Stone Guard to give them -1 bravery, but they're within 18 of my Cathalar, so she'll say no, and give the Plague Bearers -1 bravery permanently. Stone Guard at +1 to hit. And I have to pick 2, so I'm going to pick the Dawn Riders and Stone Guard, because those are the only 2 things I have in combat. Alright, so I'm going to start with the Allor Stone Guard into the Plague Bearers.
Yeah.
This time everybody's there, so yay. I'll start with my, the Stratum Hammer that my Banner Bearer is holding. That's 3 attacks.
Stick a stamina, which Gaba Gaba has.
Yeah, basically. So this hits on 3s. All right, let's move on to the hammers.
Yes! Get that shit out of here.
Okay. Well, I guess it does hit on 2s because I did the +1 to hit Ether Quartz thing. No. All right, wounding on 4s. All right, back where we started.
Get that shit out of here.
All right, now moving on to my hammers. I have 4 guys with stone mallets. So it'll be 8 attacks, hitting on 2s. And now these 6s I need to put aside because they might do 2 damage instead of 1.
Well, that'd be a something.
Wounding on 3s. So that's 3 at -1 rend, 1 damage apiece. 1 at -1 rend, 2 damage.
These 3 will be 1 damage. It's a 6 save.
And then, so that's 3 so far, and then see if you...
Nope.
All right, so 5 total damage to try to ignore with disgustingly resilient. 4 total damage on the Plague Bearers. Now moving to my Dawn Riders. Now the leader has Guardian Sword and Submetal Lance. Everybody else just has Sunmetal Lances. They're +2 attack because of Deathly Furrows. So 5, 3, 15 attacks. Hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of all that attack. I've done 4 mortal wounds so far with Sunmetal weapons.
That's it.
Is that enough to...
Yeah,
there are only 4 left?
Mortal wounds. There were 4 guys left.
Oh, okay. So all good there. I realized I rolled too many dice, but we both agreed, screw it. They probably would have died anyway. We're going to move on. So this is the state of the board after those 2 attacks. It is now Brian's go. Not going to pile in with your Plague Bearers. Nope. All right, we're on to Battle Shock. I don't have one. Brian has Ungors and Plague Bearers.
Ungors lost 11.
They're -2 bravery.
No, we'll just say 1.
Okay, so they're at -1 bravery.
So 3.
So 1 plus how many did you lose?
11.
So you're at 12. Your bravery is 3?
Yeah.
You lose 9 Ungors.
9 Ungors off the table.
All right, now the Plague Bearers have a chance of multiplying or losing.
Yeah.
You lost how many?
I lost 5.
Okay. 5 plus 5 is 10. Your bravery is
13, so 10.
Plus the minus, well, they're at -1 because of the Cathalar making them permanent, so 9. -2, so 7. You rolled a 10?
Yeah.
So you lose 3 more.
Okay, I'll pull these 3 right here.
All right. I control this objective, so that gives me 1 point. There's a leader within 6, so that's 2 points. Then I have this objective now, so that's 3 points. I took it from you, so that's 4 points. And there's a leader there, so that's 5 points. So I gained 5 points this turn. What does that actually put us at?
7 to 7.
7 to 7. Nurgle is pleased. And we'll do the roll-off right here. And if I win this roll-off, I think that's
game.
5 to 4. I win.
That's game.
Yeah, I'll take it, and that's basically going to be game because I can just nuke from here. We're going to call it good. We can do a summary here, and I think basically the summary is Lumineth Realm Lords is the wrong power level to be playing against Beasts of Chaos.
Yeah, well, they're
or Nurgle,
probably the wrong power level to be playing the game at all. It's a joke that they have made an army this powerful. Do you even playtest it? I realize you may be trying to appeal to the 1% of people who are ultra hardcore fanboys that just want to win every game, but this is pathetic. This is a pathetic excuse of balance. It's just sad. You could sell this top tier army to the 10 super hardcore fans, and you can cause 1,000 people like me to not want to buy any more of your product. So why don't you worry about that, since the only thing you produce is intellectual property. And then you might have something worth playing.
So you're saying kind of bring everything down to more of a middle tier, somewhat angering the competitive players who ultimately are the smaller number, and bringing in more of the lower to mid tier competitive style to more of the narrative players, the guys who will buy several armies but not, compete, but have more fun just having the game and the medals on the board.
Well, that's what I would think most people are here to play, is just for fun. And who wants to, like, go into a game... When we set up our armies, I already know I'm going to lose. It's not even a question of win. It was just a matter of, can I get enough tricks in that I can make it competitive for a couple of rounds? And I did. I kept it competitive for a couple of rounds. We're tied after 2, but now the gas is gone. I didn't kill any of your horses. Your main hero over here is not touched. You got another hero back there I can't touch. I couldn't take out your guys with the fear bomb that I had planned, because they just happen to have a counter for that too. They can ignore wounds. They can do everything. Like, at a certain point, it's just like, oh, okay, well, what the fuck's the point of even bringing my board or bringing my army over to play? If he wants to play his Lumineth army, he's just made it that much fucking harder.
Yeah.
It's 10 times harder. Like, I'm willing to come in and get my teeth kicked in so that it's at least entertaining. Somebody that just kind of wants to see different armies go against each other can enjoy it. But this is just a sad state of the game, to be honest.
Yeah, this is when people ask about, or you'll see online people saying, like, why is it such a big deal to talk about what kind of game you're expecting when you go in? And I think this is an example of why that's important. Because if you weren't like us, where we discussed beforehand, we knew what we were getting into. We knew that it was going to be a mismatch, but we want to get Lumineth on the channel. We want to get them on videos.
Yeah.
And you own what you own. I mean, you own this in Skaven, and you just preferred to play this because you want to see Pestilent throwing it in motion.
I like the idea of playing kind of a hybrid. Getting to run an army that's fast and has some good spells and can work together in kind of a funky way, like I did with the the Virulent Blade and the Ungors. That's cool. I mean, I can get a few shots off, but ultimately they're still chumps. They're going to get wiped off the board if you don't address them. I can't do that with like 90% of your army, and they all have the same kind of power level, and they didn't have to invest anything. I guarantee you, your heroes could take out my hero, and my hero costs the same points or more.
Yeah, so, this goes back to that point I was making, is this is why that conversation is important. Is like, look, are we having a competitive game, or are we having a beer and pretzel game, or are we having somewhere in between where it's not like super competitive, but we are going to try to, go at each other's throats? But
that's the sweet spot right there.
Yeah. Where
we can both get in here, plan and plot, and know there's a chance. There's not a chance with this list. And I did everything I could right. It doesn't matter if I switched them out for different Nurgles or if I switched it out for different Beasts of Chaos. They can't do it.
Yeah, so again, that just further proves the point that this is why you have that conversation. Because, like, again, we went through the whole game and we did this because we knew what we were getting into. We had the conversation before we started the game. But you go up to a game shop and just show up like this, I'm going to say, unless there's another guy like that, good luck getting the game.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like, I've heard it before, and it really hasn't sunk in until recently, now that I've been playtesting this stuff. Phoenix Temple was a little rough, but it's not like this. And, but, now I understand the whole point when people are like, bring 2 lists when you go to a pickup game or a public game. Bring your basic list, for lack of a better term, and bring your competitive list, because competitive players going to want to play. People are practicing for tournaments. Like, there's a huge competitive scene in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Actually more of a competitive scene than anything in Texas, so it's very different than the normal scene elsewhere. I mean, the normal numbers say that the competitive scene is the lower side of it, but in Texas it's the main. But there's still plenty of players, mostly our play group, that would just like to play. Like, they just want to see it all go. They want to see it go 5 rounds. They want to see it be a close game and laugh and have fun with it.
I just want to pick the models I think look cool, and know I can play against my friends who pick models they think look cool.
Yeah.
And maybe their styles are different, but I like in the end to just be able to go, okay, I might kick your ass this time. You can just basically put techless on the board, and I go, well, you won.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I'm glad that I have more lists. I mean, I've got Anvil Guard lists. I've got, Stormcast lists. I have plenty of ways to neuter the competitive edge, basically, and I'm glad. And what's funny is the way I want to play Lumineth is actually mostly Alorith stuff. So no tech list, just mountain cows and slow-ass hammer elves, and it's still going to be damn good.
Yeah.
But it will certainly slow things down when I'm not like, by the way, you have to spend 2 command points every time, and your board-wide bravery is -2, and I think I played that wrong. I think it was -2 on my turn, then -1 on yours. Either way, this is my 3rd game with Lumineth, so I'm going to get some stuff wrong. This is what happens when I play test on camera, and that's just how it is. I'm going to do it.
Yep.
But either way, yeah, this is another important lesson in play the same power level unless you go into a tournament where everybody's trying to bring the best. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please click subscribe, click like, and comment. All of it helps the algorithm, which incredibly helps us.
Listen, if you don't know what to comment, here's what you do. Just bitch about how weak Nurgle and Beasts of Chaos are, okay? Let's get together. Let's make our voices heard. Because it's bullshit. And we know it.
Have a wonderful war game.